Right, it's now recording.
Fantastic.
Right, so you got it.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Claire. Okay, so welcome to our Zoom meeting, everybody. For those of you that are new, it's our Matrix Group Zoom meeting on a Monday. It's where we get together and share and learn together. So we're going to start with some recognition for the period. It's always really important to see what people are doing. I mean, either for inspiration and motivation. And I think, you know, it's lovely to see your names up there and know how well you're doing as well when you see yourself on some of the charts. So we've got our recognition. We've also got some dates for your diary. I'm going to be doing a little bit of training on sort of really the admin side of your business, but sort of keeping your accounts and helping you with a few tips on keeping your accounts in order with the HMRC. Claire's going to be doing some stuff on team building. I've seen her slides earlier, so you're in for a real treat. Those of you that want to look at team building, then you have, you know, the option to stay on the training. If at any point, you know, you feel like you're not really at that stage at the moment, then, you know, I would suggest that if you can, stay on, even if it's something that you've not thought about at the moment, because it really just lets you see what opportunity there is there. And, you know, you really, nobody has to do anything that they don't want to, because we're all in business for ourselves. We all set our own targets and goals within the business. So, you know, and also at any point anybody needs to go, then, you know, feel free. There's no pressure. We are hoping that it's been recorded. We can never guarantee that, but we do hope that we'll be able to share it in the group so you can catch up at a later date. And then we can have a review and chat. Okay, Claire? So let's start off with our recognition. We're going to start with our welcome rewards so far for period 9. We've got Stacey, Zoe, Kirsty, Louise, Lisa and Susan all getting their welcome rewards. One, I'm sure I've seen Susan on tonight. I've got her name on my list. So well done, everybody. You know, these are the first targets really in your business that Clean Easy gives you. And it's some great free goodies there, some catalogues, get you off to a fast start in your business. So the first one is 125 bonus points, which is about £150 worth of sales in your first 30 days. So, you know, that's a great little target to set yourself to get going. We've also got then achieving welcome rewards 2. We've got Elizabeth, Sarah and Tasha. You know, and this is 500 bonus points, £600 in your first 30 days. So, you know, well done. That's like your next little target. And then there's 2 more boxes of free catalogues for that on the way to you. And then we've got Julie Marshall, who's hit her welcome rewards 3. So well done, Julie. That's absolutely fantastic. And I think I've seen in the group as well, Una Russell. She wasn't on the figures because obviously the figures are updated overnight, so I have to get this off the Easy Tracker. But she's also achieved her welcome reward 3. So, you know, that's absolutely fantastic, and well done to everybody's sponsor on helping you to achieve those little rewards when you get going. So we've got our top 20 retailers for period 9. And we know we have had some challenges over the past couple of weeks, but it's great to see that people are just carrying on with their retail plans. You know, we have had those few delays in deliveries, and the figures perhaps aren't as good as what they could be, but you know what, it's just about focusing and carrying on doing what you can do rather than focusing on what you can't do, because it's what you can do and the action that we take that builds the momentum from now to making an amazing Christmas. And you know, we are just about to go into the best season of Clean Easy. You know, for those that have been in a while, we know what Christmas brings. So for those of you that are new, you know, you'll just have to go with the blind belief that it is amazing. So I think next week I'm going to do some training on some of the Christmas stuff to help you to get off to a start with that. So, you know, look out for that. We've got in first place then ourselves with £1,565, Bev and Paul. Well done, Bev. I think I've seen Bev on here tonight. You know, absolutely fantastic. I know you've really upped your blanket drop in. £816 in second place. We've got John and Carol Woodward with 754. We've got Paul Grime with 645. Julie Marshall, I've seen Julie on here tonight. Well done, Julie, in 5th place. £523 so far. Well on track, guys, for your 10%. So, keep pushing, get that extra bonus in your bank, Julie. We've got Peter Hooker with 512. We've got Natalie Roach, who's Natalie Hickey over in Ireland, €604. Una Russell with 481. Katie with 409. Stacey with 371. Helen and Paul Wilson with 352. Danielle, I think I've seen Danielle on here as well tonight. Well done, Danielle, 340. Jane with 336. Never know how to pronounce this name. I think it's Loworth. 336. Anna with 324. Caroline with 302. Sarah with 301. Elizabeth with 296. And a message just popped up then. Rachel and James with 284, and Cheryl, I'm seeing Cheryl on here, so well done, Cheryl, 274. So great, everybody getting your names up there in the top 20 so far. So keep pushing now, guys. Go for your bonus of your choice. So the Matrix group so far, we've done £18,225 worth of sales as a team. That's a great team effort. We've got Helen and Paul Wilson with 13,130. Chris and Claire with 12,778. Rachel and James with 6,783. Excuse me a moment. Bev and Paul, absolutely fantastic, guys, in 5th place with 2,102. We've got Claire and Mark with 1,888. Kathy and Jeff with 1,641. Hannah with 1,485. Samantha Harrington with 1,448. Kirby and Ian with 1,448. Harriet and Alistair with 1,399. Jane Hogan with 1,261. Alison with €1,521. Sinead with €1,243. John and Carol with 754. Kelly with 722. Claire Littlejohn with 683. Francis, who's just about to go and do her baking competition, still got 680. Great on you, Francis. And Paul Grime with 645, and Joe Warman, who's not I'm not sure whether she's on tonight. She's she's on holiday with the children, and she was really not sure she's going to get a signal, but well done, Joe. 595. Okay, so our next slide, Claire. So our top recruiters for the period: Natalie Bliss. I've not had the pleasure of speaking to Natalie yet. She's obviously very new to the team. Absolutely fantastic. Off to the flying start with 3 initiations. So that's 3 new team members for Natalie. We've got them, Bevan, Paul and Kirsty with 2. I guess Natalie's in your team, Hannah. Brilliant coaching there going on, Hannah. Well done. And then we've got ourselves, Chris and Claire, Sophie, Francis, Kelly, Leslie, Claire, Joe, Samantha, Cheryl, Annette, Sarah and Marie, all with 1. So things have slowed down a little bit. We've got to get that momentum going, and Claire's going to be doing some fantastic training about building a team later on. So plug in and listen, because anything that you can learn on the training is certainly going to help. Okay, Claire, next slide. Oh, I've not updated this. There was some slight changes, wasn't there, on this slide? I lost last week's slides and I've had to go back a week. So crack off. Obviously the criteria is still there. You've got the league tables. We've got Chris and Claire, who's already qualified for the trip. We've got those in qualification on sales plan progression. You know, just keep doing whatever it takes to get on here. It's not over till it's over, and you know, just keep sprinting now to that finishing line and make it happen. Again, with our Las Vegas, we've got our league tables, our sales plan progression, and the prize draw. Again, just understand the criteria. If you want to go to Las Vegas, you know, do whatever it takes to make it happen. Oh, as I forgot I'd left that slide in. Obviously, check whether you're on target with your goals that you set at the beginning of the period. You know, we're just over halfway through the period now, so it's always a good checkpoint. Have a look where you're up to, make sure that you're on target, and make sure now that you do whatever it takes to meet your own targets. Okay, some dates for our diary then. So every Monday we have our Matrix Zoom meetings. So put those in your diary if you're new. 8 o'clock every Monday. It's a get together with the Matrix group so we can share, learn together. If anybody ever wants to be a part of the training, book review, sharing a top tip, something that they've learned, telling us your testimonial, your story, then please get in touch. You know, it's not just about us doing all the training, it's about us working together as a team. We've got on Tuesdays, we've got our Vista Group business opportunity meetings. This week is the UK one, next week is the one in Spain, the Spanish one. So, you know, if you are recruiting across Spain and you want some help explaining the opportunity, then there's a great tool there for you to use. Thursday, we have our online induction with the Vista Group, and the following week we've got our lifestyle training, and then coming up, we've just been talking about it, we have our pre-conference meal at Jimmy Spice's in Birmingham on the Friday the 25th of August. It's not too late to book, so if you want to join us, it's an all-you-can-eat all-around the world buffet on the Friday evening. You know, we always go down and make a great weekend of it and sort of take time to sizzle, get to know one another. So if you do want to join us, let me know. We've got then our very, very special, very excited Christmas showcase, followed by the gala dinner. The showcase will be showing you how big this opportunity is. We have our very one and only Claire Pemberton and Andy Walsh speaking at the conference. We have some of our very special team members that will be going across stage for their recognition. I know we've got Hannah going across stage for her 1500. I think we've got Francis going across stage for her gold medal and stuff. So, you know, there's going to be lots of recognition there. There's going to be lots of information, lots of inspiration. So, you know, if you haven't booked your ticket yet, get your ticket booked. You can just come to the showcase, or you can join us for the whole weekend. It really is entirely up to you. Then we've got on the Saturday, the 9th of September, we've got our Christmas seminar and gala dinner in Dublin. Really excited about this one as well. You know, we go over to Dublin and see our Pink Ladies team over in Ireland. So really looking forward to seeing you all again. Great honour really being asked to open up the seminar. So I'm working really hard on that presentation, and I'm really excited about that. You know, it is an honour to be asked to do stuff like that for the company. And we've got such an exciting team to tell them all about, haven't we? So we've got the Matrix Group key meeting then on Saturday the 23rd of September, 21st of October and the 18th of November. So put those dates in your diary. We're still organising venues. I've been working on venues tonight. So we'll let you know nearer to the time the venues. And then we've got the Vista Group Rally and Christmas Party. So giving you plenty of notice if you want to join us in Peterborough for the Christmas party on the 9th of December. Then obviously get that one in your date, because I know during December things get very, very busy. And our very, very exciting news, I have got us a guest speaker for our next key meeting. And I'm really, really excited about this, because it's not somebody in the company that's coming to do our guest speaking at our event. This is Pat Harland, and some of you may have heard my story about when I had a little bit of a breakdown and I had to go and get some help, this lady was just life-changing for me. She's a Thrive consultant, and I went through the Thrive program, and she's going to come and do some self-discovery quizzes and an explanation really of why it is necessary to be resilient on a personal level in order to grow a business. So she's going to do some stuff on self-limiting beliefs and things. So Danielle, Runcorn is sort of Cheshire way, Liverpool, Manchester, but then generally places that people have heard, and there are a lot of people haven't heard of little old Runcorn. Seeing your messages pop up there. So, you know, it's going to be really exciting, our next event. Really looking forward to for Pat coming along really and sort of sharing some really good stuff on you know, kind of mindset and all of that, which will be great. Okay, so next slide, Claire. Just a little reminder really, obviously we started our 21-day kickstart challenge. I'm absolutely loving, I'm still plugging into my 2 packets of crisps and a pint of lager. Just seen that pop up. Yeah, that's what Runcorn's famous for. That's about it.
Not 2 packs of crisps and a pint of lager.
To whatever it is. Okay, so with our 21-day kickstart program, if anybody hasn't started it, then we've got a group that you can join. It's really good. It really gets you to have a look at through the theatre of your mind and think about your goals and vision for your future. And there are some subconscious sort of programming blueprints which really help your unconscious mind to start thinking much more positively and much more openly about your future and your vision that you see, and then we help you then to use Clean Easy as a vehicle to go and make all of those dreams come true. So it's a fantastic book, it's a fantastic program. Brilliant, Cheryl, you've read yours. Have you not all the way through it now? It's really good because you can break it down into just nice bite-sized chunks and kind of do it as you're going along. Okay, Claire, so our next slide. So what I'm going to talk to you about now is just a little bit on accounts. Okay, so admin side of the business, that's really kind of your responsibility. But we have had a few people asking questions about how to keep accounts and what they need to do. So I'm just going to share a bit of information. What I would like to say is that I'm not a specialist on keeping accounts. Everybody's circumstances are different, and it's not up to me to recommend what's best for you. I would advise you to speak to a professional accountant, you know, if you want to get some proper advice. And I'm going to give you a name and a number of the accountant that we use. They're great. They can give you lots of lots of good advice and stuff. And they do have a little £10 starter pack that gives you great information about what you need to do. But with accounts, I think it's really good to remember it this way. It's all the 3 R's. So the first thing that you need to do with your accounts really when you start in business is register as self-employed. And if you're not already registered, it's important that you register with Inland Revenue within the first 12 weeks of your business. You can register with Inland Revenue either with a form or online or on the phone. So if you just Google HMRC, all the information comes up there for you to do, and it's really quite simple to register with them. When you register with them, you'll get a UTRN number, and that's your unique tax reference number that you will use then when you're putting all of your accounts in when you need to, and I'll talk about the dates and that in a little while. So the next important thing that you need to be doing for your accounts right now and from day one in your business is receipts. And it's receipts, 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 receipts. So for everything that you get, just start keeping receipts. And what we always say to everybody is get yourself a shoebox and just keep receipts and pop them in. Even if you think you can't claim it against your business, you must keep receipts for everything, because it's surprising what you can claim against a business when you're working from home. And I'm going to go into that in a little while. What you also must keep is your certificate of incomes and your invoices from the company. Now, you won't need copies of your invoice, and you won't need to record everything that you've ordered or anything like that. But it is important to have copies of them, so we always save them in our email in a folder so that we've got them to reference. The most important invoices that you need to keep are the ones that have got your sales aids on. So anything where you've bought the carrier bags, the catalogues, snappy bags, or any tickets for the conferences, anything that comes under sales aids, you will need to print those off and put them in your accounts, because all of that is tax deductible out of your business. So, you know, and if you're not keeping those invoices, then you're not going to be using that tax deductible allowance out of your outgoings, if you like. So, and then for most people, the next part of it then is putting your accounts in and getting a refund. Now, most people will not pay any tax, certainly in the first couple of years in the business. That is if you're doing your accounts properly. And it's all legal, it's all above board, it's, you know, it's exactly using the system as it is there for us. I think in our first 12 months in the business, we got a £3,000 and odd tax rebate. So we earn money from the business and we got that on top from the tax man. You can only get a tax rebate if you've paid tax in the last 3 years. So if you've been employed and you've been paying tax, then you get a tax rebate. If you work in a full-time job or a part-time job alongside this, then you can use it to offset tax in your job as well. So lots of people really panic and they think that they're going to get taxed as a second job. This is not a second job. It's completely different than having a second job. In second jobs, you get basic rate tax and you get charged, you know, the 20% on all of that. We don't in our self-employment business. Okay, so next slide, Claire. So these are the things, some of the things that you can claim for. Okay, so all of your clean, easy retail and business kits, so all of your catalogues and everything like that. So if you've got a starter kit, any catalogues that you invest in, then obviously those go in as part of your accounts. They go as part of your outgoings. Any advertising and any other sales aids, likes of your carrier bags and your printing and all of those sorts of things. You've got any meetings and events that you go to. Okay, so any entrance fees to meetings that you go to. It's amounts to claim. I never know, you know, the percentage to claim against. Just hang on, Julie, I'll answer that in a moment for you. Okay, let me just run through this. So we've got all of the cost of your meetings and events. If obviously your motoring expenses, if you've got your car on hire purchase, then you can put all of that against your business if you're using your car. Things like petrol, must keep receipts for that. Things like, yes, Francis, flights for hotels and all of that are claimable. Yep. So like if you get a new tyre on your car, then you can claim for that. Your tax, your insurance and everything for the running cost of your car, basically. Just bear with me, Leanne. I'll have a look through the questions in a minute, if that's okay with everybody. So that's all your motoring expenses. You've got your hotel and your travel then. So like Francis has just said, any flights, traveling back and forwards, you know, if it's train tickets or taxis or bus tickets or anything like that that you've got used going to a meeting, then all of those tickets need to be kept. Any hotels that you've stayed in. I know Gavin Scott has many trips to his villa in somewhere in France, doesn't he, Andrew? And he uses it as a business meeting and all of that against his holiday. But meeting is taken against his business. On top of that, then you've got your stationery, your internet, your any fax cost, post. I mean, not many people do fax. But so if you're paying a monthly amount for having internet to your home, then that can go against your business because it's for business use. Your telephone, so your telephone line at home, plus, you know, a mobile, you can claim a percentage of that, and it will depend on how much you use that for business and how much you use that for personal use. Then you've got your heat, your lighting, your council tax and your rent. Now, depending on how big your house is, depends on what percentage you can claim against your bills. But if you are working from home, you have to heat it, you have to light it, and you have to pay all of these things. So you can claim a percentage of those bills. So you must keep copies of any of your electricity bills, your gas bills, and all of those things. You've got any bank interest charges and any other financial charges. You've got your capital purchase and your HP. So if you've been and bought like let's say a laptop on hire purchase and you use it for your business, then that can go through your business. And then there's all the sorts of miscellaneous stuff that can go in. Things like clothing, shoes, waterproof coats, new dress for the gala dinner, new dress for the conference. You've also got then little Johnny's pocket money. So if those of you that have got children that help you in your business, like myself and Andrew, our children have always been involved in the business, and we've always given them their wages, which is their pocket money for doing certain tasks in the business, and you can put that in against your accounts. Now, little Johnny can't be 6 months old, because obviously you have to be able to do the tasks. If you're saying that they're going out there and helping you to drop catalogues, for example, then they ain't going to expect that of a 6-month-old. So obviously you have to be realistic with that, but you can give your children a little bit of pocket money, which a lot of people do, for them helping in the business, and you can put that in against things like babysitters and things if you go into a meeting and you're using babysitters and things like that as well. So if you go to McDonald's and you have your dinner at McDonald's, keep your receipts for that, because, or you go to a pub and you have a lunch, it's a business lunch. Things at home, like we have meetings, so tea, coffee, biscuits and bottles of wine and things like that. It's absolutely crazy really, what you can. So our suggestion is that you just keep receipts for everything, and then you can chuck away. Obviously your grocery shopping for the week's probably not going to go in there, but anything that you're not sure of, definitely keep. Okay, we've got let me just finish this and then we'll go on to the questions. I think that's the best way to do it. Okay, so when do you have to do your accounts by? So for our accounts from April 16, so April 2016, the 1st of April 2016, oh, just go back to the end of March 2017, if you do file your accounts in a paper copy, in a paper form, that has to be done by October 2017. If you're going to do it online, it has to be done by the end of January 2018. If you do not send in either your paper copy or your online books, then you will be fined. So it's really important to be aware of these dates and make sure that you do hit those dates. It sometimes feels like it's so far away that you can leave it, but don't leave it to the last minute. My suggestion is that, maybe at the end of each period or the end of each month, just get yourself organised and put everything in order. Now, lots of people, when they get started, use the shoebox system, which is basically chuck everything in a shoebox. You can send it off to the accountants and they sort it all out for you. If you like to be more organised than that, then DSL Accounting do this spreadsheet, and I'll put the master copy of the spreadsheet on the group later, so if anybody wants to use that, you can use that. And all you do with that is you log your receipts, you go through your statements, everything, your invoices, your certificate of income, and you just log it all on there, and literally you send the spreadsheet off to them and then they do the rest for you. They work it all out. HMRC, DSL have this saying that HMRC is about how's my refund coming along, because obviously if you keep your accounts in good nick and you follow what you're supposed to do, then most people will end up with a refund, and certainly if you're not going to get a refund, you'll end up not paying any tax. So, and that's where that's where we want to be really. So our suggestion is you can go wherever you want, but DSL Accounting is accountants that we've used for the last 10 years. You can ring this number or you can go on, they've got a website there. Again, I'll put this information up in the group so that it's there for everybody. And they are really good. If you phone them up and ask them questions, even if if they haven't done their accounts before for you, they'll guide you and support you. They are really, really good. If you go on the website, there is some little training videos. There is a little thing where you can send off and pay £10 for a little starter kit and everything that goes through everything, guides you through everything. So it's really good. Can't think, I did put last week I was going to do this, and I put the book. They've got a book that Robert Sherwood, who owns DSL Accounting, he wrote. It's called Tax Without Tears, making it really, really simple. So you know that, again, it's worth getting a copy of that if you want to understand it a little bit more. I think it's always, you know, about having the knowledge of what to do, which helps you to understand what you need to do. Okay, so that's the end of that.
The thing with DSL Accounting, that they specialise in network marketing companies as well. So
Yeah.
you know, they might be a bit more expensive than another accountancy, but they are experts, and all those things Helen was going on about what you can claim for. You know, they know all the loopholes, if there is any loopholes. I think things have changed lately as well. They've gone a bit more strict, but I would recommend, you know, first and foremost, if you're taking the business seriously, definitely register as self-employed first and foremost, just to get that element out of the way, because it costs nothing and it's simple to do. And then just give this company a ring or go on the website and just get some general information to get your head around it. You know, then you make your decision where, you know, how you want to manage your accounts going forward.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, he has done network marketing himself, and he's obviously been an accountant for many years. So he, you know, I think at the last count it was like millions of pounds of tax refunds that they've got for people in network marketing over the past, don't know how many, I can't quote the figures because I can't remember them, but you know, he is an expert. He knows all the little loopholes that we've got as a work from home people. We're slightly different to most traditional businesses, so it's good to get somebody that's got that inside knowledge. Just going to answer a couple of questions that we've got. Cheryl's asked, I've read mine and I have copies of my invoices. I don't know about anybody else. Right, okay, so you're on universal credits. Now, I'm not a benefits expert here, Cheryl. You probably need to speak to your benefits advisor on your individual circumstances, because they are all so different. I do know, likes of with the tax credits and things, that if you have children, obviously with your income from your Clean Easy business, you only have to put on your benefits the income that's after all of your outgoings, if that makes sense. So natural fact, you can earn a lot of money from Clean Easy that will pay for your car, it will pay for some of your clothing, it will pay for your all of those things that I've just said, your gas bill, your electricity, part of that. So all of that comes out, and then what's left you have to declare as an income. So because what's left is not a lot, then generally people often get more from the benefits because it's like a top up. But again, I really wouldn't like to give you any definite advice on that. Probably speak to somebody.
I would suggest that actually you'd speak to DSL before you speak to the benefits people. Speak to them first, because I think how you should position it is, and it's genuine, is to say that you've set yourself up in business and your 12-month forecast is that your business will break even in the first year, so you're not going to make a profit. And so how would that affect the benefit? So in a way, your business isn't making a profit as far as the taxman's concerned. You know, so that might not affect your benefit. But I would say first speak to these accountants to ask them how you position that type of thing, and then secondly go to the benefits agency. But like I say, we're not experts, so just, you know, take proper advice.
Yeah. Also, Cheryl, sometimes if you go and speak to them, they may want to see like a business plan. If anybody is asked for a business plan, we have a templated one that's already done. So we can put it in the group, which just shows they ask for strengths and weaknesses of the business and all the background and all the rest of it. So all that's been put together. You just have to edit it for your personal circumstances, if you like. So if anybody needs any help with that, again, we've got that there. So again, you know, just ask. I'll see if I can dig it out and put it on the group, so it's there for everybody if you ever need it. Also, sometimes in certain areas we know that there are grants available for helping supporting businesses getting off the ground and things. We've had people in the past that have been given £500,000 on top of benefits and stuff that's helped them, because they are trying and getting, trying to find a way to get themselves off benefits. And if you go in with that sort of attitude, really, I'm doing this because I want to get off benefits, I want to try and help myself, there are things out there that it depends on where you live and it depends on circumstances and stuff, but have a little dig, have a little find out about what is available to you. Okay, Julie, the amounts to claim, I never know, like the percentage to claim against. Julie, can you just clarify your question, darling, because I'm not quite sure what that one means. The percentage of what?
Sorry, I was just thinking, from the point of view, I don't know whether when you're talking about tax returns, you put in like whole amounts, whereas as far as I was aware in the past, I've been self-employed before when I did childminding and stuff, and you were only ever allowed to put a percentage of, for example, you know how you were saying about your lease car or your heating and lighting for your house, there was a certain percentage. So say your heating every month was £50.
Yeah.
You had to put, I don't know whether it was 15% or whatever it was of that in the accounts, and I never ever know. But I suppose if you're sending it to an accountant, you don't need to know because they'll know.
Everybody, the heating and lighting and the gas one, that depends on the size of your house and how many rooms you have. So everybody's is different. So you need to speak to them to ask them, and they'll guide you then what the percentage is. So you can't get the whole lot for your gas and electricity bill, but even if you get 15-20% of that you can use then, so you're not paying tax on the income that you're getting from your business, it's something that's coming off you paying tax, as opposed to when you're in a job, you would get your income, then you would have to pay that, wouldn't you? You'd get taxed and then you pay that. So you're paying tax on your whole income in a job. With this, you're paying tax on what's left after you've paid some of your bills, basically.
Yeah.
And like you said then, Julie, if you end up going with this accountancy company, for example, just send the whole bill out, send all your bills in full.
They work it out. They do it all. Yeah.
And things like
do
shopping.
Do you think that's good value then, doing it through the company? Is it good value or is it more convenient, or about both?
I think a bit of both, because it depends how good you are at putting these things together. I mean, if you're quite switched on with accounts and stuff like that, we over the years have got more experience with it because we've done it now for 10 years. If you're very new and you've never done anything like this before, you may want a bit of hand holding, and that's why most people tend to start with like the shoebox accounts, but then maybe they get themselves a little bit more organized next year and they start then looking and understanding a little bit more and filling it in a spreadsheet and getting a bit more savvy with it all. So it's not, there's no hard and fast rules with anybody. Some people 20 years into the business, they still prefer not to waste the time doing their accounts and lob it in a box and send it to them. It is individually based. Other people from day one can be dead organized and just know exactly what they're doing. So we're all different, aren't we? We've all got different experiences and stuff, but they are a great help. They're a really great asset. They really do know what they're talking about.
Okay, thank you.
I think we've answered Francis's question. So your flights and your hotels and all that, your events. We've talked a little bit about benefits. Need to have do you need to have business insurance on your car? With regards to HMRC and your accounts, Hannah, that doesn't affect that. I guess ideally, if you are doing deliveries, you should have some sort of business insurance on your car, but again, it's really kind of a personal thing. I really wouldn't like to guide you on that one, to be honest. It's nothing, it wouldn't affect your accounts, that's for sure. Okay, thought about putting your dress through, Jane. Okay, how do we claim back children's pocket money without a sheet? So anything like, if you go along to so let's say a key meeting, or you give children pocket money, go down to WH Smith and get yourself one of these duplicatable receipts book, and you just write a receipt for it. And you put that in your account. So that's how you do, that's how you log it. It goes in as like a little receipt that you put in. There's a section you put for petty cash you can claim back on accountant's fees. There's also you are allowed to order, and I didn't put that on there, a certain amount of products for demonstration and personal use, and I will find out what this year's usage is. So I think last year it was something like it was over £1,000 worth of products. that we could use for demonstration and personal use. So you can put invoices through for products that you use for personal use as well. So I forgot about that one. Likes of claiming back your accountancy fees that are professional fee. Any professional fees that you use, then you can put them against your accounts as well. So although you might pay out for an accountant, it's tax deductible off your income in any way. Okay, doesn't affect me starting. Okay, Cheryl. So I think that's it with questions then, unless anybody else wants to ask anything. Any in, fin in. Steve, I don't know what that means. Is Steve still on? Steve, can you just clarify what you mean? Either retype it or just ask me. Okay, so yeah, what I'll do, Steve, is I'll put all the information in the Matrix group. I'll do a little post up on the accountants, the numbers, the contact details and everything, and all that. Prices are individually packaged, so it depends on what you want them to do. Like so for myself and Andrew, we're a partnership, and that's very different to sole traders and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll find out the latest costs and I'll put that into the group as well. Also, just before I finish, if anybody's got any more questions, I think we're done now with that, but I can put a post up, and if you want to ask any questions on that, then we can answer them then as a group. Andy, could you just share a little update from Michael? We've had a bit of an update, and the Beat Your Best, I don't know whether you all saw that on the EWB, but it's been extended now for another period. So those of you that want to go for Beat Your Best, the free catalogues, the ticket in the prize draw for the trip and everything, then, you know, keep an eye on what it is that you need to do and make sure that you hit it by the end of the period. Okay, so let you do the update, Andrew.
Yeah, it's only quickly. Obviously, we've had the ongoing delivery issues and stuff, and you know, the company are doing everything they can to get us all back on track. So we just need to be strong. You know, bear with the company. They are getting there. You know, but I don't know if you've seen the update today from Michael. They've employed another 10 members of staff for the next 2 weeks as well. So we said that's another 400 hours going into the warehouse. So they will get on top of this. They'll get the backlog sorted and get the deliveries back on track. So, you know, like I said, just keep focused, keep doing your retail. Don't stop doing it. Because you get into a position where you start thinking what you think the customers are thinking about the situation, and they're probably not thinking it's as bad as you think they're thinking. You know, so just carry on regardless, looking after people, getting your posts done, getting your advertisements done, and you know the company will get it all sorted. And they've also done another thing as well now, where they're going to be emailing you, where's my order? So they're going to be starting giving you daily updates to say your order's going to packing or what have you as well. So, you know, like I say, just keep the faith in the company. We're going to get there, you know, and just don't stop on your plan, what you're doing. And that was all I wanted to say, really.
All right, thanks, Andrew. Okay, so if we can do the next slide then, Claire. Okay, so I'll do quick introductions and we'll let Claire get on with the team building training. I don't think there's anybody better to talk about how to build a team, how to build momentum and how to keep it going than our very own Claire Kinsella. And as it says here, together everybody achieves more. So, you know, together we are all learning and sharing. So massive thanks to you, Claire, for putting this together. And if you want to just come on and...
Yes, thank you very much, Helen. Right, okay, so the reason why I thought I'd talk about this was when I was having a chat on the phone to Andy before, and he mentioned that, you know, September and January are the best times of the year to recruit. They're the biggest recruiting months. This is always where we have a really big influx of people joining the business. And I can remember Michael Catkar saying last year that people that join in September and October are the people that stay, that really stick, because they kind of join at the best possible time of year and get all the really good Christmas sales, and they can see what the business has got to offer. So we all want to really make the most of this, because obviously it's nearly September. So we've really got to get stuck in for that. So Are you ready for that? Are you ready now to, you know, are you speaking to people, to lots of people now? Because what a lot of us will find is August is a funny time of year. It is every year, regardless of what's been going on with the move. People are on holiday, the kids are off school, people are just distracted by other things, you know. So at this point, there may not be an awful lot of people that are recruiting, but all the work that you're doing is you're sowing all the seeds ready for September when these people are ready to join and they all want to start, you know, earning some extra money. Because most people know as soon as the kids go back to school in September, Christmas is here, isn't it? It's around the corner. People kind of panic at that point as well. They go, oh my God, Christmas is going to be here. I need extra money. And you've been speaking to them through the summer and they're going to automatically come back to you. So it's really, really important that regardless of whether anyone is actually joining you now, whether anyone is saying yes or not, it's really important to carry on speaking to all these people right now, because they will join when they're ready to join. So you need to be ready so you don't have to get ready. So what I mean by that is carry on speaking to the people, focus on the activity and not the results, so that you're ready then. You know, when these people are ready to start earning money, you've kind of planted all them seeds, you've got all these people ready and interested, and then you can be ready for them and you can hit the ground running and start the Christmas period with an army of sellers behind you. Because if you wait until that point, if you wait till September and then you start, you know, all the people that have been putting the work in through the summer are going to have a much bigger head start on you. So really important, regardless of any results, carry on with the activity. It's even more important than ever, so that you're ready for these people in September. Okay. So the more people you talk to right now, the more people are going to be joining you in September. Yeah. The more people you're going to have lined up ready to sell your products, ready for the busiest time of year. So I'm going to show you a little bit. I know some of you have already seen these, but these are when we started team building, when we really started getting going with it. So this is when we went gold. So it was exactly 2 years ago when we went gold. It was in the end of July 2015. So this was us and our little team. We didn't have many people, and we done the bulk of the retail. We had a few team members all getting stuck in with retail themselves. And this is how, when we went gold. And what we done was we kept the momentum going, carried on through the summer months, so even though it was quiet, we carried on speaking to lots of people and recruiting, and we started to create a little bit of momentum. We started to get people in our team duplicators. So that was our business when we went gold. This was our business 5 months later. So you can see we're starting to get a few people build their own little teams within our team, as well as us continuing to sponsor and, you know, keep the momentum going. So this was then 8 months after that. So this is where we had started to create more duplication. We were starting to see a few other people in our team were starting to build their teams. People in their teams were starting to build teams, and we were still continuing to bring in more people. There was probably actually more than this that joined. It was just that I didn't bother putting people on that weren't really doing much anymore. This was active team members that were coming now. So this was around about a year after we went gold, thereabouts. And then this was only 6 weeks after that one. So from the previous slide, 6 weeks later, we had another 72 people join. So again, this is where now momentum was really starting to kick in. There was lots of other people starting to recruit. So it wasn't just about us in the middle here with our people around us. As you can see, all these people coming off there were building their own teams, and so was their teams, and so was their teams. And the business was now starting to snowball. But it didn't start off like that, obviously. It started off with just us putting the work in ourselves without anybody else copying us. And once we done that and we started to get some results from that, we started to get, you know, by this point, we've won a few holidays as well. We've got, I think, 3 by this point. We'd also won a car scheme. You know, all these things are happening through us just working on our own, regardless of whether anyone was copying us or not. And once we started to achieve these things, people wanted a bit of what we were having and they wanted to copy it themselves. So momentum takes time. I know that there's people who may have only been in the business 6 months, who are starting to recruit, who are thinking, oh, can't get anyone to copy me, I can't get anyone to join. 6 months is nothing, okay? So you've got to give it time. You've got to just let the momentum build up and let it all just snowball. So the compound effect is obviously starting to kick in our business now. This year so far, we've had 734 people join. So that's way more than anyone on them slides. We couldn't even do them slide circles anymore because it's that big. It really is starting to roll out, okay? But what you have to do and what you have to remember is you need to keep your leaky bucket filled up. And this is the most important part, because so many people will kind of give up on this business because they're going too slow. And what I mean by that is you might bring in 1 or 2 people and they might not really do much and they might leave. And then you might bring another 2 and then just work with them and then they leave, and then maybe another 1. And then you start to beat yourself up and think that it's not working because the few people that you brought in are not doing much. But the thing is, you've got to always, your bucket is going to leak. Your team is going to leak with people that are not going to want to do it anymore. It's not for them. This business is not for everyone. Why? I have no idea. They must be mental. But it's not for everyone. Not everyone enjoys it. And we've got to go through lots and lots of numbers. And if you're not filling your bucket as quick as it's leaking, then you're never going to grow. You're never going to get anywhere. It's like, I remember watching a video Peter Reardon on riding a bike, and you know, you can go if you go really slow without your stabilizers, you're going to fall off. You know, whereas if you stick at the top of the hill and push you down on your bike, you're going to have to kind of get control of it, aren't you? It's going to run away with you, and you're going to get there faster than you did by going really, really slow. So one thing I'll say is, if you're going to do this, you really need to do it fast, really, but to get the momentum going and keep your bucket filled without the people leaving, because they are going to do. Okay, so some do, some don't, so what? Okay, this is something that you can't take personal. People don't like it, that's fine, that's up to them. But you've got to kind of move on to the next one. Okay, so what we've got to think about as well is, imagine just sifting through a big load of rubble. If someone come and dropped this on your driveway now and told you there was 5 diamonds in there somewhere, would you sit and sift through that rubble? Would you sit there and chuck all the stones away and go through them one by one until you found them diamonds? Because I know I would, you know, and it's something that you've got to do. You've got to go through all these people till you find your diamonds in your business, okay? And something as well that I remember getting told that I think is really important is, no matter how much you sit and rub that stone, it's not going to turn into a diamond either. So sometimes we want it more for people, okay, but we can't. We've got to treat every single person the same. We've got to work with every single person the same, and then move on to the next one. Keep going back and helping people. You know, as you say, run with the runners and walk with the walkers. Some people don't want to go fast with it, and that's fine. You have to kind of go at their pace. But you can't drag people over the line either. So, you know, it's just keeping going and finding the right ones, really. And it'll take a really long time to find these people as well. You know, it can take years. So when you are doing your recruiting now, you've got to use all rods in the pond. So, you know, when we think about sponsoring, it's not just Facebook ads, even though they're on here. You need to tell everyone that what you're doing, not necessarily in a recruiting way where you have to go and tell them all they have to enjoy you, but everyone needs to know how excited you are about your business right now and about this new venture that you've come, because excitement is catching and people want to know a little bit more about it. So make sure you're telling everyone about what you're doing. And ask people, do they know anyone in an indirect way? You know, so I have a message that I send out to my warm market, and it's just, do you know anyone that wants to earn any extra cash? So you're not asking them directly, you're not making it awkward, you're not making anyone feel that they can't say no or that they're going to avoid you at the school gates or anything like that. You've got to do it in a way where, if you're saying, do you know anybody, pass them my way. If they're not interested, they've not got a problem with saying, yeah, I'll pass them your way if you know anyone. But if they are interested, they might say, well, actually, I'm looking, what is it that you've got? So it makes it a bit easier then on both sides. Posters, you know, putting posters up everywhere, and, you know, in your local chippy, in the hairdressers, in the pub, in the toilets, whatever. Business cards, leaving a trail of them everywhere you go. You know, we've had some great ideas of where to leave business cards. You know, I've been out for a meal with Helen and she's left them in the menus of the pub. She's left them in the toilets, you know, Andy said to leave them in the cash machines. She go in the clothes shops and leave them in the coat pockets. All these places where people will just pick up the card. And a tip that I've heard as well, apparently if you put your photograph on the card, people can't bin it. Because there's some kind of mental block in your head where you won't bin a business card that's got someone's photograph on, so that's a good one, and they won't bin it now if you do that. Flyers, you know, go and fly in houses, go and fly it in cars, going and standing in the street outside the football matches, outside concerts, you know, giving your flyers out. And then obviously Facebook ads. There is a big training, Andy's done a really good training on sponsoring with all the different ways that you can, you know, use different tools to do that. But this is just a sample of some of the ways that if you kind of get it out there, you can get lots of people joining. So if you speak to people every single day, your business will grow. Okay, that is a fact. And the faster you do this, the quicker the snowball and the quicker it's just going to speed up and it's going to start growing your business even more. So we kind of go through 3 little stages, I believe, when we're doing this. And I think this is the way that I find it easy to explain when we're first getting started with it. So your first stage is what I call the building stage, and it takes about 4 to 6 weeks. And this is where you are putting in lots of work, you are speaking to lots of people, you are putting all your adverts out, you're sending the information, you talk as your friends, you talk to family, but you might not get anyone join you. And it could be 6 weeks and you are doing this day in, day out, and you're speaking to tons and tons of people, and you're not yet seeing the rewards for the efforts you put in. But it does come. But it does take 4 to 6 weeks, and it's 4 to 6 weeks of consistent work as well. So you can't stop after a week, have a week off, then go back, then have a week off, because you start all over again. It's got to be consistently. And then the next stage then is your loading stage, and this is where all your hard work is paying off. So this is where now all the people you've been speaking to in the last 4 to 6 weeks are starting to come back to you, and they're starting to say they want to join, and you're starting to see them coming. You know, we can have periods where we can have someone who's who's got 10 sponsors in a month, and people look at them and think, oh my God, how have they done that? And 10 times out of 10, it's because it's from the work they put in the period before, not necessarily that period. So they've not suddenly found a magic recruitment tool this period that's working for them. And they will probably all say that everyone they're speaking to doesn't join instantly. It's the information that's been drip fed over the last 4 to 6 weeks. You know, getting them in your selling group is a really good one, because when they can see that this actually works and that people actually buy from you, they start to come back to you then. You know, if you're friends with them on Facebook and they forgot about speaking to you, and then the next week they see your post on your Facebook about how much you're loving your business, they go, oh my God, yeah, there's that girl, I'm going to go back to her, or whatever. So you've got to remember that it takes time to drip feed all this information all this time, okay? Now, this stage can last as long as you want it to last. And this is what I mean by that, is you've got to be constantly still doing the adverts, still speaking to people, still consistently going, and then someone will always be joining, because you've done the 4 to 6 weeks where you're building it up. After that now, you can have someone join every week, a couple of people every week, as long as you don't stop with you still building that up, okay? Then you've got your juggling stage, and this is where you're just finding your feet, where you're juggling, managing your team and bringing more in. But it's really important that you still do the bringing more in, because it's like the water pump. It takes absolutely ages for them to pump the water for it to come from under the ground. But once that water's flowing, it's dead easy. But if you stop, you've got to start all over again. So this is the important bit now. This is where you've got to keep it topped up. So yeah, you might not have to work as crazily hard at bringing them in, but you've got to keep it flowing, keep it topped up so that you're not starting again. Okay, so consistency was what won the race. It wasn't how slow the tortoise went, it was just that he was consistent with it. So he didn't burn himself out. He didn't, you know, post all his ads and speak to all his people. He might speak to 500 people on Sunday and then no one for the rest of the week. And that doesn't work. Even if it was 500 people all week consistently, that is what works, because it's keeping it going bit by bit without burning yourself out, then stopping, then starting, then stopping. That is the hard bit. Okay, so if we keep moving, we don't stop, we don't have to start again, because that building stage, the 4 to 6 weeks, is probably the hardest one, because that's where you've got your battle in your head, you know, where you're doing the work and you're not getting the results yet. That's where you start to doubt yourself a little bit. But is this actually working? Am I doing the right stuff? Is this ever going to work for me? And all that stops a lot of people. Whereas if you just kind of relax from it and keep it going and never have to go back through that stage and to keep it topped up all the time, then you know you never have to get started again. You've only got to start that once, haven't you then? Okay, so because that is where the hardest part comes to it. So, oh, that's it. That's the end of one. Sorry, I thought I was at the end there. So yeah, so basically the key is consistency, keeping it going so that you don't have to start all over again. Really, you only start once. Okay.
That was brilliant, Claire. I just think it's absolutely fascinating every time I see them circles, you know, and it's really good for new people just to start drawing your circles every month and watching it grow, because it really does make you feel motivated when you see things moving. And when you look back at where you were just a couple of months ago and you can see how far you've come, it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's amazing as well, Claire, that you joined in sort of like 2012, 13.
13, yeah.
And it took 2 years before anything happened really in your business, didn't it? You didn't, you know, you just were doing about 10% and somebody joined, somebody left and things, you know, so, and it took me and Helen 6 years before Chris and Claire joined our business, you know, so it's, you just do not know. And once you start this business, first of all, they say never, ever, ever quit, you know, and then start learning it, start getting stuck in, fall in love with it, fall in love with the process, and then just follow that brilliant advice and training of Claire, because that is the secret to it. It's that getting on with that, you know, doing we say mastering the mundane, that 4 to 6 week thing is the secret to it. And once you get through that stage and it becomes like, in effect, business as usual, this is just part and parcel of my daily routine now, because once you've done that, you just do it as a given, you know, and it's, and look, those circles are, you won't see many better examples in the whole of Clean Easy, probably none better than the momentum what Chris and Claire had in their business. It's just frightening and exciting, you know, and we can all have it.
Yeah, I think one of the things you just need, Claire's just one of these people that can be just so focused on the task, and that's where people, you know, we live in a society where people want stuff like that. And, you know, we can go to McDonald's and get our dinner like that. We can go somewhere and we can get a new sofa and it's delivered within weeks like that. It's patience and the ability to do that, and just continuing to focus on your goals, focus on your activity, day in, day out, week in, week out. And eventually, you know, it is the compound effect that's happening. And you don't see that happening. I know Claire's done some great trainings when she's talked about the lily pads, and how you see one lily on the top and then all of a sudden the whole pond's covered, but you don't see all of that work that's going on. It's all of that consistent effort, time in, time out. You know, it's like having a diet, and we have a diet and we eat healthily. We don't lose a stone you know, for a lot of us, we don't lose a stone every day. We lose a couple of pounds, but if we continue with healthy eating, then over a period of time we get to the weight that we want to, don't we? But it's when we stop doing it, because we don't see that instant results, that we start putting weight back on, and then it's not working. And it's the same thing. And I think this is one of the things with Pat, you know, when she talks about it, it really is about your mindset, and it has a lot to do with this business just being dead focused on the activity. Lots of people go to factories and pack boxes for far less money, and that must be so mundane and so boring. You know, we don't know if anybody's on here that works in factories and does that, but people can do it when the boss tells them to. What you've got to do really is be that boss and tell yourself to do it. Look in the mirror and give yourself, you know, the ability to do that. Steve's just put a question in a thing. You need to know what you're doing before you cruise. You don't need to know, Steve, because there's so much support in the group. You don't personally need to know. And if you've sold your first item either on Facebook or with a catalogue, then you know what you're doing, because all you're doing in our business is learning retail and teaching that retail to somebody else. It's that simple. It's when we try to think more about it and we overcomplicate the system and we try to think it's a much bigger thing. You know, all you've got to do is learn to retail, bring people in, teach them to retail, and then plug them into the training. The rest of it is there for you. We have a fantastic group. We have the Facebook groups, we have the chats, we have the Zoom meetings, you know, we have the face-to-face meetings. Everything's there for you to train people in your team. So by no means, people recruit from day one. So you don't need, you know, you really don't need to know what you're doing. If you need any help, listen to the training, keep plugging in every week and talk to your sponsor, or, you know, we'd help you every step of the way if you needed any help with that, Steve. Oh, Natalie, you've done so well. She's putting here, defo motivated me to push on. Thanks, Claire. My partner wants to do it with me and would. How would he do that? Okay, so if he's not already on your agreement, Natalie, you can speak to Clean Easy, and there's a form that you'll fill in and get him added on to the distributorship, so you can add him on as a partner.
You can just download that, Natalie. If you go onto the distributor support arena, the way you put your orders on this, there's a bit what says the DSA, and it's just called change of detail form. So you just put his details on as an additional distributor and just email it, and we'll sort that out for you. Recommend you do that as well. The other thing is, I don't know if you work full time or he works full time, but you know, if one of you doing pay tax, going back to what Helen trained you on before about the tax stuff, if you register as a partnership, that's how we got tax rebates, because I was a taxpayer, you know, so something to think about there, really.
Does anybody else have any more questions?
Danielle's recruiting like nuts by the looks of it. Well,
yeah, Danielle's recruiting while she's listening and learning. Lovely.
Multitasking like that.
That's what us women can do.
I was just thinking about what you said about you can put wine against your tax. That's
not your excuse for having a bottle every night, love.
I need to up my intake really so we can claim more.
I think it'd look a bit suspicious if you had a bottle a night.
No, do a lot of entertainment.
Cheryl said none of her team are on the chat groups and won't plug into the meetings. Okay. Claire, do you want to answer that? No, because Claire is really, really good at getting people to meetings and getting people plugged in. She is our expert at it. So.
Well, I know some people just really don't like to be a part of it, do they? When you say they're not on the chat groups, what do you mean? Have you not put them in the chats, or
put them on the chats, but they keep coming out and they're just saying, "Oh, it's ruining my phone," and keep pinging, and they keep coming out of it.
Okay, well, you can tell them that they can mute it at the top of the chat. You'll say silence it.
I know.
They don't want to. Well, there's nothing. If you don't want to, then they don't want to. I really encourage them to get on the Zooms though, because I think
I message them to say, "Oh, there's a Zoom tonight. I'll really help you," but they just ignore me.
Okay, just find more team members.
Can I just jump in as well on that? First of all, our group's massive, and there's tons of people in the group, and there's only a small amount who ever come onto these things. First of all, so first of all, don't beat yourself up about it. But at the same time, you know, we can all improve and stuff, and it's sometimes, and it may be difficult, but I don't know if you speak to these people on the phone, and if you don't, maybe try to start building a relationship by ringing them so they get to know you better, they may trust you a bit more.
Yeah.
And then by doing that, you can sell the benefit of why they're in a group chat and why shouldn't they be. So, you know, why you think they should be in the group chat and things, because they can see, or they can get stuff from us guys who've been in it 11 years, for example, so they don't just hear the training from you, you know. And then certainly on these things, you know, again, the trainings you've heard tonight, you know, as good as you're going to get in the whole company. And
it's brilliant.
They were brilliant, and they're like that every week. So I guess getting on the phone is definitely a big thing, you know.
I have tried phoning them, but they don't answer either. But I can't. I don't know what else I can do. To be honest, I've spoken to Bev a few times because she knows I'm frustrated about it. I've got one as well that thinks, she said, oh, I know what I'm doing, I'm not stupid. My mum's been telling me. I said, please don't be like that. Your mum's doesn't know our system. I'm here to train you up our way. She's like, oh, I'm not stupid. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, fine.
Yeah,
I'm with me.
You get them as well. That's fine. If they're happy doing their own thing, don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. But at the same time, keep trying with people, because, like I say, you're on these meetings. You're on these every single week. We always see you here. So you need to just explain to the people, I guess, that why you come on them. Why do you think these are important things? So definitely, just trying to improve that thing, and maybe before you ring them, maybe have a list of, like, you need to ring people with a purpose. So obviously chat with people first, but make sure you've got certain things what you want to cover on this little phone call and stuff, so you can build it in. But you'll get there with it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do try and have just a normal chit chat with them, but they're just not interested. They're not talkers, to be honest. They keep saying, "Oh, I've got these problems. I've got We did a Zoom last week about it. Now? I can't remember the word. I can't remember, but there was a Zoom. A woman come on and talked about it.
About anxiety and things.
Anxiety, yeah, they've got that, and they're not good at making friends and talking, and brilliant.
There are lots of people that are joining now because they can kind of just be in their own little bubble and just get on with it and stuff like that. And
yeah,
kind of just got to value everybody, but then don't not keep trying, because eventually we know that for anxious people, for them to come out of that and for them to grow and them to develop, they have to come out of that comfort zone, but they have to want to make that change themselves.
Yeah.
We can never force people to do that. And when people do make that step, and it's just trying to find something, or I think you're going to be on the recognition tonight, and they might be the type of person that loves to see the name up, and explaining that on a Zoom, if you've never been on a Zoom before, you can turn your camera off so nobody sees you. So it's understanding where they're at. So if they are a really anxious person, understanding where they're at and giving them that first step in, because once people do come on, if it's for them, they'll plug in every week and they'll go away and take something from it. If it's not, they might never come back again, and there's nothing we can do about that, but in fairness to them, we have to try and keep encouraging them to come on the things, because we know the more they learn, the more they earn. We know that with everybody, and that's all we're saying.
It's so hard.
I think it's a bit,
just do it and carry on what you're doing.
Yeah,
you'll get there with it, Shella. I mean, it's practice with coaching and things. It's all part of the game. But I know, sorry, Bev's trying to say something. I know.
Yeah.
I am. It's only to say, I can't say the name, but I've had a message tonight off one of Cheryl's team members to say that she's got a couple of difficulties. She can't plug into anything, but what she's going to do, she's going to keep in touch with myself and with Cheryl if she needs to know anything. So just to put your mind at rest, Cheryl. She's fine, she's happy, and she will be in touch. And I've had that message since I've been on Zoom this evening.
Right. I think I've got a feeling I know who that is as well, yeah.
I'll speak to you later after Zoom.
All right. No problem. Thank you.
Right, don't worry. It's fine. No problem.
All right.
You, Andy.
A good way of getting them on the phone as well, what I do is, if I'm talking to them on Messenger, so if they're asking any questions or we're chatting away, I just press the phone button whilst chatting to them and phone them and say, oh, it's easier to ring you than it is to carry on messaging. And they're already on the phone. They're all, because I bet you go,
that's what she does.
That's what I do to everyone. Yeah, Julie, you do. You just ring. Yeah. Yeah. It is easier to ring people anyway, but yeah, it's best, I think, then you can, like you say, you do build a bit more of a relationship with people that you get to speak to on the phone.
I'm the opposite me though. I'm not a good talker. I'm not very good with words, to be honest. So with me, it's easier to messenger and texting and stuff like that rather than talking over the phone, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's
Just
something
use
perhaps
your
Cheryl,
strengths,
as
Cheryl,
you
you know, you do. But like I say, for you, the most important thing is if you're in Bev and Paul's team, yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing really for you, I would recommend is continue getting onto all these Zooms, because that's the first part of it. You're on every single week, which is awesome. You know, and then just rely on Bev and Paul's support and guidance, because they're experts in the business. You know, they can help to coach you as well with things. But don't beat yourself up about it either. It's not a problem.
Oh
'Cause
no, I'm carrying on
like
recruiting. I've done loads of recruiting this week. I've had over 200, 150, 200 interests. So it's
Right. So I think you should do a training on that then, shouldn't you?
Yeah. So you're going to have lots of people. You're planting lots of seeds now, aren't you? Ready for September when they all start?
I've had
giving up?
loads non-stop.
Good on you. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be dead good on the phone. You know, I'm just looking. I think Hannah's gone off now, but Hannah's always had a bit of a. She's always been a bit quieter, and it took her a long time. But Hannah built a gold business without ringing all her team members. She did introduce it bit by bit, but she kind of got used to that. You know, like just a bit at a time, and then like talking to me more, and then talking to some of the team members who she was more friendly with, and she just got, got out of her comfort zone that way. So don't worry if you can't speak to people on the phone yet, because it'll come.
I do today. Something happened today that made me boosted my confidence a lot. I don't know if I can say it or not, to be honest, because it's not really happened yet. So I have to be careful what I say, because I don't know whether I'll just leave it till I get the email.
You'd be dangling like that.
Oh, we're not going to sleep now.
I don't know if I should, because it's one of her. She's already joined, and I don't know whether to say, because I think I might know her.
Go on, just tell us.
Right.
Just don't say any names.
Hang on. Stop recording, Claire.
Okay.
Yeah.